The dark truth about baboons. In today's video, we'll be looking past the curtain and diving into what the truth about baboons really is. And let me tell you, it's dark. These animals aren't the cutesy type of primates that the history channels would have you believe. They're a lot more. So, as we did with chimpanzees, we'll be looking into some of the more controversial facts about baboons, and of course, historical examples to make it believable. Let's get into it, starting off with a little history lesson on baboons. History. Baboons, belonging to the genus Papio, are a type of primate found within the family Cercopithecidae, one of the 23 genera of Old World monkeys. There are 6 known species of baboons: the Hamadryas baboon, the Guinea baboon, the olive baboon, the yellow baboon, the Kinder baboon, and the Chacma baboon. Each species is native to distinct regions in Africa, while the Hamadryas baboon also inhabits parts of the Arabian Peninsula. The size and weight of baboons vary depending on the species. The smallest among them, the Kinder baboon, measures about 50 centimeters, 20 inches in length, and weighs a mere 14 kilograms, 31 pounds. In contrast, the largest species, the Chacma baboon, can reach lengths of up to 120 centimeters, 47 inches, and weigh as much as 40 kilograms, 88 pounds. Interestingly, all baboons share common characteristics, such as long dog-like muzzles, robust jaws with sharp canine teeth, close-set eyes, thick fur, short tails, and hairless padded skin on their prominent buttocks, known as ischial callosities, which provide them with comfortable seating. These diurnal and terrestrial creatures often sleep in trees, on high cliffs, or on rocks at night, away from potential predators. Baboons can be found roaming open savannas and woodlands throughout Africa. Their omnivorous diet includes a wide variety of plants and animals. Among the primary threats to their safety are Nile crocodiles, leopards, lions, and hyenas, but as you'll soon come to realize, maybe the true predators of the baboon were closer to home than you think. Baboons typically live in hierarchical troops, which consist of harems. Through vocal exchanges, they can discern the dominant relationships between individuals within the group. With the formalities out of the way, let's get into the real meat of the video, shall we? Number 1. Raiding of human settlements. It's quite obvious that when animals share space and resources, there will be some conflict that occurs between them. However, the behavior exhibited by baboons when raiding human settlements doesn't feel like it's necessarily driven by the need for food or shelter. Instead, it feels driven by rage and hatred. Bear in mind that this isn't a far-fetched emotion for baboons. In fact, they're very emotionally well developed. One example of baboons attacking humans took place in 2010 in Cape Town, South Africa. The Cape Peninsula baboon population, primarily comprised of Chacma baboons, faced increasing conflicts with humans as their natural habitats were encroached upon by urban development. In this particular incident, a baboon from the troop known as Fred became notorious for his aggressive behavior towards humans. Fred was known to have lost his fear of humans, likely due to frequent interactions and exposure to human food and waste in urban areas. He would often enter residential areas in search of food and had learned to open car doors and break into houses. In August 2010, Fred attacked and injured a 2-year-old girl who was playing outside her home in a suburb of Cape Town. The girl suffered injuries to her face and required medical attention. Number 2. Transmitted diseases. For decades, it has been widely known that wild baboons carry Treponema pallidum, the bacterium responsible for causing syphilis, yaws, and Bajel in humans. These are major diseases that humanity faces daily. Recently, a new form of T. pallidum infection associated with severe genital lesions was discovered in baboons at Lake Manyara National Park in Tanzania. Also, reported cases of humans acquiring syphilis from baboons typically involve individuals who work closely with or handle wild baboons. These cases are often associated with occupational exposure, where individuals come into contact with the bodily fluids or open wounds of infected baboons, leading to transmission of the bacterium. But that's not all. Baboons, like many other animals, can act as reservoirs for certain diseases that have the potential to spill over to humans. These diseases are known as zoonotic diseases, and transmission can occur through various routes, such as direct contact, consumption of contaminated food or water, or exposure to infected bodily fluids. Another notable example of a zoonotic disease associated with baboons alongside syphilis is tuberculosis. But why is this important? Well, as we mentioned before, Cape Town is home to a large population of wild baboons, and the surrounding Western Cape region, as well as other parts of South Africa, have indigenous communities and groups. These indigenous tribes and other local communities lived in close proximity to these baboons. In 2013, while it was still unknown to the locals, some of the baboons in the area were carriers of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Normally, baboons do not display symptoms of the disease, making it difficult to identify infected individuals. Over the course of a few years, the disease spread rapidly through the indigenous tribes and other communities, affecting thousands of people. The close interactions between humans and baboons played a crucial role in the transmission of the disease. As baboons and humans shared living spaces, water sources, and occasionally even food, the risk of infection was heightened. As the years passed, the death toll among the human population reached alarming levels, surpassing 5,000 individuals. This culling of the nearby human population made it easier for the baboons in the area to raid houses and pillage whatever they could grab their hands on. Eventually, what was once a flourishing area had become a ghost town due to the disease spread by the baboons and their relentless raiding. Number 3. Infanticide. Did you know that infanticide in baboons is a behavior that has been observed in several baboon species, including chacma baboons, olive balloons, and others? Well, it's actually one of the less discussed aspects of the baboon troop. But why does this happen? Interestingly, the primary perpetrators of infanticide in baboon troops are usually adult males, particularly new alpha males who have recently acquired dominance within the group. By killing the infants, the new alpha male can accelerate the return of the females to a state of sexual receptivity, thereby increasing his chances of mating and siring his own offspring. How's that for dark? This horrible process is often carried out by brutal attacks on the infants, including biting, shaking, and throwing them. While some studies also suggest that adult males may also target pregnant females to cause miscarriages or abort their fetuses to induce estrus and mate with them. In terms of real-life examples, the Amboseli National Park in Kenya has been a significant site for studying baboon behavior and social dynamics. A well-known study conducted by researchers Smuts and Smuts in the 1980s documented instances of infanticide in the troop of chacma baboons living in the park. They found that approximately 75% of infant baboon deaths in that troop were a result of infanticidal attacks. That means that 3 in 4 baboon infants die of infanticide. Number 4. Cannibalism. If infanticide wasn't enough, it comes packaged with the eventual cannibalization of those very infants. So, why does it happen? I mean, no animal would want to eat their own babies, right? Well, there are several reasons. As mentioned earlier, when a new alpha male takes over a troop, he may kill the infants of the previous alpha male as a strategy to increase his reproductive success. This infanticidal behavior leads to the eventual consumption of deceased infants by other troop members because food resources become scarce or insufficient to meet the nutritional needs of the entire troop. Cannibalism in this context may serve as a survival strategy to obtain much-needed nutrients and energy during times of limited food availability. Also, extreme environmental conditions such as drought, famine, or disease outbreaks can impact the availability of resources and create challenging conditions for baboons. In such situations, they may exhibit atypical behaviors, including cannibalism, in an attempt to adapt and survive. Talk about survival of the fittest. And that was our video about the dark truth about baboons. We hope this gave you some insight into how these primates can be dangerous, despite seeming harmless. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date on videos like this. See you next time!